Hey, welcome to another episode of Gets Real, where marriage-minded singles gather to navigate this new world of dating. This is Ty, your host, and as a newly single person myself, after years of being married, I can say navigating this new dating life has been a journey. So join me every week as we highlight the pros and cons, ups and downs of this new world of dating. Welcome to today's podcast. We are discussing early requests in relationships. We're your hosts, Ty and Nikki, and this is Gets Real, the place to be where newly singles over 30 learn to navigate this crazy dating arena to find our forever partners. Today, we hope to give you some amazing insight on what to do when your partner makes certain requests early on in the relationship that may seem too difficult to fulfill. Hey, Nikki, what's up?
Hey, Bo! You sound all professional in this opening. She say we leveling up. And this here we gonna introduce the people real good.
So, kind of first things first. What kind of early requests are we talking about? For me, early requests can vary between anything like sharing passwords, moving in together, even proposing. These are all things that can be tricky when they are made way too hasty.
Yeah, because honey, the first one out the gate, the password, honey, folks fall out about these passwords, passcode. As a former hacker in my lifetime.
Not a hacker.
I'm not even gonna ask you for your password, sir, because I'm gonna figure it out. But I should say a reformed hacker, reformed, because I don't do that type of foolishness anymore. I don't make any early requests.
How do you think they've ever been made of you? Where you felt like, well.
I'm always hesitant about the guys that are like, 10 minutes into the conversation, ooh, the Lord told me you was my wife.
No,
what?
Absolutely not.
Honey, I don't know what kind of connection that you got, or maybe it's me, I be on hold a lot on the main line, and that's okay. But I do think that sometimes they've been made early. I come across more men who like to request exclusivity on my part early.
Yes.
We're like first date, second date, and they're like, yeah, I don't want you seeing other people. Sir, no, sir. I can't agree to that. I'm not even feeling you. I'm kind of feeling everybody right now.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's way too early.
Yeah. I have had that happen in my time where I talked to somebody for about maybe a few weeks, maybe a month. But that was strictly phone conversation. We hadn't even met each other yet.
Oh, no.
Then after we meet each other, it was boom, bam, pop, let's exclusivity. Nigga, you finna leave back out the fucking country. What you mean? No, sir.
Out the country. I don't trust people when they're going across town. You can have a whole family, let alone you going out the country, sir. What kind of time frame are we talking about here? I don't know why people do that. I don't know if it's I don't, because I feel like it's too much to ask of somebody. If we're getting to know somebody, how you vibe on the phone may not be how you vibe in person. I have definitely had that to where I'm talking to a guy on the phone, everything is great, we meet in person and the energy just don't translate. He was a completely different person in person than he was on the phone. On the phone, very nice, very complimentary. In person, complete jackass.
Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was like, oh, we too grown for this. I mean, we grown, because he was 40 plus with these shenanigans.
Oh, no.
So I don't really ask. I want to give you enough time for you to be comfortable to just be yourself. I like to give people time to stop sending their representative. So I don't make these requests. If we talk about, I do venture to ask, what are they looking for? Even as you're getting to know people, is this just for fun? Are you looking for companionship? You're looking for are you just out and about because that's what you like to do? You like to meet new people? Because everybody that's on the dating sites, they are not looking for their divine partner. They're not looking for their forever a partner. They may be looking for some partners. They may be looking for a movie buddy, a traveling buddy. People are looking for different things, and they just use these mediums to search for that. So I always kind of venture like, what brought you to if I met them on a site, what brought you to the site? What has been your experience? And that sort of thing to kind of gauge that. And I never ask for money. I don't, I have a hard time with that.
It's not asking for money, it's how you ask, and there is a tactic and strategy to it. And a lot of times I don't feel like I ask, but I think I also attract a type of person that if I mention something, they're going to offer. So that's another episode for a different show.
I mean, but it is and it's not. We can venture into that. But yeah, as being your sister, I mean, I've witnessed that because I'm like, honey, she be coming across some men that be, oh, honey, they will turn their pockets inside out. And I'm like, well, you got a cousin, a brother, a uncle, somebody that do what you doing? Because, you can't even say, oh, man, I need to stop and put some gas in my car. And the dudes I come across, honey, they get to hollering with the quickness. What was you doing before you met me, sir? Hold on, take the hostility out your tone. Because I didn't ask you to put the gas in the car. I just said I need to stop and fill my car up. That's all I need. It was a mental note. I'm going to keep it to myself next time. But yeah, no, I don't. That's the reason why I don't. Because I met more with that level of hostility. I don't even have men, I don't come across men who even offer. Hey, you drove, if we met in the middle or I drove to his side of town, it's not a, hey, let me put the gas back in your car, just as a nice gesture. Or, I'm going to talk to you on the phone to make sure that you made it home. They don't, it's none of those things. And I'll be like, but these are also the same men who want you to know, hey, I care about you. Sir, how? You don't even know if I made it. If I made it home safely. So
speaking of the difference of that, let's talk about the importance of setting boundaries. How do you go from about navigating these early requests where it's important to set expectations and boundaries really early on, but also make sure that both parties are on the same page about what they expect from the relationship?
I think it becomes more of a conversation for me. So I know sex is a major thing for people. So I'm like, I try not to bring it up, But I also make a note in my head of how many sexual innuendos a guy makes in a conversation, because maybe that's just a comfortable lane for him. That's where he finds his funny, I guess, quote unquote.
And ain't shit funny. You
No.
need to be real direct with me.
So in that sense, I will ask, like, what are you expecting to happen here? And, you know, some guys are more forward and be like, hey, we done picked up these Starbucks drinks, so we going back to my place? No. What name is on my Starbucks cup, sir? I mean, that's just me. I don't jump straight to the sex. So it's a little bit more, I'm kind of curious as to like what you expect, but a lot of times I wait for them to bring it up. So if we're a month, 2 months, 3 months into this, and I haven't said nothing about it, I haven't made no moves in our time together when we've gone out to be in a more intimate space with you, then I'm gonna ask you. If he hasn't brought it up and I haven't brought it up, then I'll bring it up to ask, hey, what are your expectations here? Because if you haven't been worried about it, but you've been seeing, you know, you got somebody taking care of that for you, how long is that? What are we doing? What's happening here between us? What are we doing with this? I'm very clear. I'm probably almost angrily clear about my boundary for PDA, because I don't like being groped in public. Groped, slobbered on, any of that. I don't like that. There is a way to be affectionate to me or towards me in public spaces, but rubbing all on my behind, and I don't like that. I just really don't. I don't like that.
Shit, I think I scared the hell out of my boyfriend because he won't even hold my hand in public.
He talking about reach for mine first.
Yes.
I
have to literally initiate.
Yeah. And in that space, and I've also said that you're going to know when I'm comfortable being in a more intimate space with you if I reach for you. Mm-hmm. You know, if we're sitting across the table from each other in our first couple of dates and I don't really reach for your hand, or I don't make a move to be closer to you, then this ain't gonna really work. But if in like if I'm trying to move closer to you, then I like you. There's a vibe. There's something about you, you know. But I will ask, you know, is it okay if I sit closer to you? Because some people just don't like people in their personal space like that. So I'm aware of that, but just trying to be more, I think it's all about communication. You have to kind of ask questions or lead with gently lead into, hey, you know, I don't particularly care for XYZ. You know, like taking me to an ice cream shop when I'm lactose intolerant won't ever be the move.
Yeah.
You know, it's, if you want to go get ice cream, I don't care about you getting ice cream. Just don't expect for me to get ice cream, because you're going to have to take me home, sir. Or we're going to have to stop by urgent care because my stomach is knotted up. And it's not a good thing.
So, being honest with your partner. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of times when people start making requests, sometimes it may appear unreasonable or too demanding. But I do know, just for people that tend to either avoid the conversation with all costs, or go along with whatever the other person wants for the wrong reasons, will ultimately leave lasting negative effects, aside from how crucial is it really to be openly but understandably honest. Are you asking your partner questions? Are you actually listening to their concerns? And how do you navigate these requests with an open and honest communication process? What does that look like or feel like?
I draw from my second marriage experience with that. I think a lot of that marriage could have been better in some aspects had I been honest in the beginning to say that I wasn't open to an open marriage. I wasn't open to a third because I want my partner to be my partner by myself and to really stand on that and not compromise that, because in that compromise, it just made it difficult because I felt betrayed every time. So I think it's just really knowing yourself is imperative. You have to know what your values are. You have to really know how you feel. So to me, I think it was very helpful to myself that I had a book. I want to say it's like 101 questions to ask before you get married or something like that. And you can find, I'm pretty sure if anybody, Googles questions to ask while dating or in a marriage, ask those questions of yourself and really figure out where you stand on those questions so that you're clear about what you want, what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept, what's a green light, yellow light, red light, what's going to be your hard stop, what's going to be your thing that's going to tell you, I'm going to walk away from this. And I wouldn't say lay those all out on the table, first date, second date, but definitely as you feel that things are progressing or when they present themselves, talk about them honestly. And then brush up on your communication skills. Brush up on what is actually active listening. A lot of people don't actively listen. People listen to respond. They don't listen to understand. And you can tell that by how a person is sitting, by how I'm not going to say how they look at you, because not everybody will look at you while you're talking to them. But you can just tell their body language and stuff like that. Just make sure that you're actively listening to what your partner is saying and how it's affected them. They may throw in a story from their past about why they feel so strongly about that. So, I think asking those questions, and then that's where it kind of comes into play with me. If you make it to the point of y'all are going to therapy together, because there's a lot of things there could be quite a few things that you have to understand about your partner's past that would be helpful to you as to why they communicate how they communicate, why they feel the way that they feel about certain things. Somebody would, without me telling you, you wouldn't know that based on previous sexual trauma. For me, that's part of the reason why I don't like PDA. PDA to me is, I don't know whether you're being nice or whether you're being affectionate or whether you're trying to hurt me. So I don't read my body response to it doesn't allow me to read it correctly. So those are important things.
Okay. Any last things to add?
Really make an effort to be a safe space for people. I don't think people are honest because they don't feel like they can trust you with that information. And to me, you have to, the saying goes to in order to make a friend, you have to show yourself to be friendly. Something like that. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong. But to me, it falls into the same line of trust. In order for somebody to trust you, you have to show yourself to be trustworthy. a lot of that comes from listening and how you honestly interact with somebody. If every time your partner or the person you're dating is talking to you and you're dismissive, they're not gonna trust you with not shit. Because I don't really feel like you listening to me. So why should I tell you something important when it don't really matter? So, but that comes with being honest about what your intentions are in dating.
Okay.
If we just kicking it, we just hanging out, I'm not gonna trust you with my life story. For what? Mm-hmm. But if you're looking to build and you're looking for something that's a lasting relationship and that's where you're hoping that this is gonna head, I may be more willing to have that give and take. You know. But that's it from me.
Partners should always be honest about their feelings and limits. It's essential to remember to be considerate of others' feelings when addressing requests. We have learned that open communication, setting boundaries, and honesty are keys to successfully navigating early requests in relationships. I want to thank you for listening, and don't forget to join in on the conversation every week as we explore the balance of dating and daily life. Hey, did you love this episode? We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. So don't forget to check us out next time. Are you looking for your next date night idea? Don't forget to check out XOXO on the go on Instagram to follow me on my dating journey.